Hi YouTube. Well, that's not such a nice picture, right? I know. Well, it's not nice either that I'm not doing my show tonight. I'm a little exhausted. It's been 2 very rough days, and I will let people land upon this nasty storm we just had. And yesterday when I was driving out, I had this one. As you see, that looks familiar, doesn't it? And that's how it looked like when I got it. Of various reasons, there is certain things that is not visible here. The yellow I myself have removed, but as you see here, it's like I'm traveling with something I'm not supposed to know what is. And you know, what is it? It's coming from Louisiana and it's going to North Carolina. That's all I can tell you. The rest, I got no clue. I have no idea what I was freighting. Just weird. But I know where it came from. Here. And that don't make me feel good, to be honest. But we've had a storm. Yeah. Why I'm choosing this picture is because something is not right with this storm, and I seem to have the proof of that here. But this is the sad results of this storm, this superstorm. This is Queens. This is tragic, and more tragic stuff. And yeah, beautiful picture down there. That's actually after the storm. That's pretty amazing. Well, this is .Since's picture. We have a massive HAARP or whatever output that is, and it might relate to something else which I will come into in a moment. But we also have a HAARP signature here. We have one on the west coast, but we have a significant one on the east coast, and that is prior to the storm, to Sandy. And here's another picture of it. Here's less output, so this one is more valid. Here's a lot of output. It seemed to me like they're sucking it in, but something happens, and I'm coming to that in a second. And this is the actual path of this storm. You have seen all these pictures before, but there's something very profound. This also plays a role, because now the Gulf Stream is running up along the east coast and not out into the Atlantic directly, straight out. Now it's crawling up, which is also adding to higher sea temperatures, and we know that sea temperatures at the surface need to be 80 degrees Fahrenheit or 27 Celsius in order to produce a hurricane or sustain it. And this is the picture of it. I believe in this footage I'm going to show you. I have a clear indication of something is going on with this system. And as you see the system, how it looks like, looks a little strange, don't it? And yet it is a terrible hurricane. So let me see if I got to where I needed to go. No, actually, also wanted to show you what was going on in Japan. Well, that might be news for you, but for you who haven't seen or heard anything, this was a massive snowstorm. We also got snow here in America. Kentucky got snow. Ohio, Montgomery County, where I drive through, it was actually snowing, but not a lot, more like slush. And here's another image of it. And it's actually stopping right before the continental slope. And that just sits, but the result is staggering, to say the least. Here you got 15 meters. Nah, not quite. What was it I said? 60 feet. 60 feet of snow. in one spew. Talk about having problems? I would say so. I think that was the first one. Yeah, that was the first one. Now I'm going to show you something interesting here. A dear YouTuber sent this to me, and he wanted me to look into it. And this is a preliminary to Sandy on October 18th, 2012, that is at 7 o'clock. So let's go full screen so you get the full benefit of it, and let's roll it. Now pay attention. As you see here, the storm is kinda going downwards. This is the Caribbean. Just pay close attention here. And then something happens. I got two questions now in all this, from what you're going to see here in a moment. See, now it begins. Now it changed direction. Suddenly it flares up. Highly peculiar, right? But I'm running between two things. Either this storm is man-made, or either this storm is a punishment for God Almighty for something which was taking place in the UN building, where they were claiming sanctions, financial sanctions against Israel. I don't think Americans in reality know what's going on over there. But if you were living in Europe, did you see that? And now look what happens in the center. Whew. What the heck was that? Right? What was that? But the situation is in Gaza area, because you don't know the real truth. Look how it speeds up. Isn't that weird? But just look at the pictures and listen. If you get the European news, then you will know that Hezbollah is shooting rockets in over people in Israel at will, out of nowhere. They just do it. They send suicide bombers into the crowds. They even sacrifice their own children, which is barely 6 years old, to go in and blow themselves up in the name of Allah or Muhammad, whatever. And Israel retaliates. But over here in America, you don't know that truth. Here you just know that Israel is the bad guy. They're running around being a bunch of murderous people. That's the impression you have of them now. But, yeah, as Jesus said, that Christians and the Jews will be persecuted for my name's sake. He said that very often. And that's true. Now the whole world is being led up to hate the Jews, who is in reality just defending their right for their holy land, while they are dodging rockets which being shot in over. Rockets which is coming from Iran, possibly Syria. Yeah, Syria. And I have an article here. I just let that roll. Well, I just want to show you this article, and that one you can go find, and then you can go read. It's a little lengthy, but read it all. But UN experts call for boycott of international business profiting from Israel. Settlements in occupied Palestinian territories in Third Committee. Palestinian. This is a name which the Romans gave the Arabs living in that region. This is not a name of a nation. This is a name of a certain kind of people. End of story. You don't believe me? Go look it up. If you don't believe the Vatican and the Islam connection, I suggest you go read the link below too. And then you will have another idea of what is really going on over there. These people These people are dead set on destroying anyone who is not a Muslim. That goes for you too, America. It's not just the Jews. It's not just the Christians. It is anyone who is not Muslim. And you go up against God's people. God will come back at you, and he will do it tenfold. And there's a little funny thing here. In the end, I will play for the from the Coast to Coast show. God's numbers are 3 and 7. Satan's numbers are 6, 9, 11, 22, and 33, and 13 too. But these numbers don't show up on this storm, but the number 3 does. I wonder. I'm just wondering. Let's play it again. I'm really wondering. What's going on here? You see it? Let's go back down. Right down. Because there's something else I need to show you. But in the last sequence here, I'm going to play that little thing. Look at that. Oh, that was a slip up. No. How fast it suddenly moves in over land. And here we got... I didn't do that. Sorry. I didn't touch it. I just did it again for some reason. Look at this. This is a massive output from somewhere. I don't know if it's HAARP or it's something almighty. Because this is like a tongue sticking in. It's not over a vast area. It's very focused. It is feeding this storm. Maybe this is God telling you, UN in New York City, now I've had enough of you. If you do not stand down for the support of these terrorist Palestinians and Arabs, I will hammer you. Here's a warning to be learned. This is serious business. You do not come against his people. He will come against you tenfold. And when you try to split up Israel by a peace treaty, America's going to be split down the middle. I'm thinking New Madrid. He's going to destroy this country once and for all. And if you don't believe in God, that's your problem. I'm actually afraid of him. I'm not afraid of those cowards who are sitting in the government. All they can do is kill. My problem is, where am I going when I'm dead? Am I going to heaven or somewhere not nice? That's the big deal. But look at this. I don't believe that is a HAARP. This is something entirely different. And I don't know what it is. But that's scary. Very scary. God bless you. No show tonight. You need rest. And you need to have your Halloween, and you need to summon yourself upon this ordeal in New York City and the entire East Coast. But I don't think this is HAARP. I think it's something divine. God bless you.
Howard, you okay up there?
We're okay, but the city is in very strange shape. For those who are into numerology, the number 3 is very big tonight. There are 3 buildings that have collapsed. There are 3 people who have been killed. And according to some newspaper accounts, there are 3 million people who are out of power. And there are 2 storms going on. One is the storm the weather is causing. The other is the storm of rumor. And the rumor storm says that we have tunnels that are flooded, including 2 of the tunnels used by automobiles. And we have subway tunnels that are flooded. Transformers are blowing up, we are told. But the strangest rumor is the Rockaways. The Rockaways is a little finger of land. It's a long, skinny island. And it's like basically a sand dune on which people have vacation homes. And the rumor is that fire is leaping from home to home out there, that the 70-mile-per-hour winds are whipping it from one house to another. and that the fire department can't do anything about it, that in order to rescue people, they're bashing in people's windows with boats. That is rumor. I have not been able to back that up anyplace. But right now, we're caught between rumor and reality.
Hi, YouTube. Well, that's not such a nice picture, right? I know. Well, it's not nice either that I'm not doing my show tonight. I'm a little exhausted. It's been 2 very rough days, and I will let people land upon this nasty storm we just had. And yesterday when I was driving out, I had this one. As you see, that looks familiar, doesn't it? Well, I can tell you. The rest, I got no clue. I have no idea what I was freighting. Just weird. But I know where it came from. Here. And that don't make me feel good, to be honest. But we've had a storm. Yeah. Why I'm choosing this picture is because something is not right with this storm. And I seem to have the proof of that here. But this is the sad results of this storm, this superstorm. This is Queens. This is tragic. And more tragic stuff. And yeah, beautiful picture down there. That's actually after the storm. That's pretty amazing. Well, this is .Since's picture. We have a massive HAARP or whatever output that is. And it might relate to something else, which I will come into in a moment. But we also have a HAARP signature here. We have one on the west coast, but we have a significant one on the east coast. And that is prior to the storm, to Sandy. And here's another picture of it. Here's less output, so this one is more valid. Here's a lot of output. And that's how it looked like when I got it. Of various reasons, there is certain things that is not visible here. The yellow I myself have removed, but as you see here, it's like I'm traveling with something I'm not supposed to know what is. And you know, what is it? It's coming from Louisiana and it's going to North Carolina. That's all.